Inconsistently consistent.
Hello, and welcome back to Inconsistently Consistent. I'm one of your hosts, Melanie, and I am done right now with Love is Blind. Do you like to introduce yourself, other person who is done with Love is Blind?
My name is Rachel, and Love is Blind needs to be stopped.
It does. It's getting ridiculous.
It really is.
Like, it was always pretty ridiculous with the whole, like, pod dating thing, right? But I think it had a little bit of that, like the singing show, The Voice thing to it, of like that blind audition thing with the blind dating. I think it had that like appeal to it. It was like, ooh, mystery, ooh. But this season just got, it's awful.
We
awful season.
Have discussed our feelings about Love is Blind.
Mm-hmm.
And we have said that we think that instead of the end goal being getting married, the end goal should be an engagement. We said that in a previous Love is Blind episode when we've talked about this.
Yes, we were so smart, and we still are.
I especially feel it this way with this season, so I'm gonna pull up. I've got an article pulled up about the women. Well, it's got like the cast.
The women?
It's got the men and the women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only gonna talk about the ones that we see. Because obviously there's a bunch of people we don't see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just brought up I just brought up the like a web page to see them because you know I'm terrible with names, so I need to be able to see this. And who are these women? Some of them I don't know. I don't even remember seeing them in like the side off to the like side of things in the like the women's like lounge area, right? They're like communal rooms. Like, who the fuck is Kylie? She's 28, a med student, and a Virgo, and I don't know if I've ever seen this woman.
Yeah, that's I don't remember seeing her. I only watched a recap of the first few episodes.
Oh, okay.
But like I still don't remember them ever mentioning. Mind you, they only mention the ones who kind of stick around.
Yeah, or have like some like good moments on camera, even in the pods.
Yeah.
Like that don't even make it out of the pods, but have memorable moments there, right?
Yeah.
Because like I think the whole, and we'll probably get into it, but like the whole Alex, Mason, Madison, Meg thing.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, that was insane. But I'm pretty sure none of them ended up leaving together. Like no one got engaged of those four.
No.
But we saw so much airtime of them. Right? Because there was just drama and shit happening over and over, right? But like this one, Kylie, now I did watch all the episodes except like the last few. I was getting really frustrated about it. So I like skipped through a bit, just like fast forwarding, and I watched a recap of the reunion.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was getting so fed up with this season. It was the same conversations over and over. And I didn't really like much of the cast at all.
Yeah, I didn't. There was not one person that I like was solely rooting for. So in the past, There's been couples where I'm like, yes, I want to see them through. So kind of like the ones that stand out for me that I was like, yes, I want this to work. I hope it works was like obviously Tiffany and Brett.
Yes.
For season 4. Zach and Bliss.
I wasn't a big fan of those. Like happy for them, but I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah. Lauren and Cameron from season 1.
God, that's a long time ago.
I know. Back when Love was actually blind and people weren't coming on the show because they saw how big of an Instagram following people got.
Yeah.
And I think that was it. There wasn't anybody from season 2 that I was like, ooh, ah, wah, wah, wah. I mean, there was someone from season 3, but then SK turned out to be a piece of shit. So, you know, there's that.
Like, even last season, like Ashley and Tyler, I think it is, those two I was rooting for.
I didn't watch last season.
Didn't. But they reminded me of some of the like the really solid couples that seemed very sensible and went the whole way, just being normal people and not freaking out or like making big deals about stupid shit and then having really toxic conversations and stuff. But this season there was no couple that I was like, woo, yes, gotta root for. And I didn't find myself liking many of the cast.
Yeah.
And even the ones I liked, I didn't like all the way through, right?
There was fluctuating. Yeah, so my thing was there was always something about the cast that made me not like them. So we're gonna start. You know what? Let's kind of go through the list. We're just gonna look at the ones that we saw. So let's start with Lauren.
31,
Sagittarius,
occupation is educational sales.
Coming from a big Irish Catholic family with 80 first cousins, Lauren has always wanted to start one of her own, but her recent relationships never seemed to make it past the 6 to 9 month mark, leaving her eager to find a connection to last a lifetime. As a former teacher, Lauren is primed to be a star student in the pods. I ask a lot of questions and really like to get to know people, she says, but she tends to be an overthinker and processor, which could get in the way of her decision making. I just like to know what's going on and how people are feeling, which can be a little bit too much sometimes, she says. However, if any of her students are too invested in their personal appearance, or hers for that matter, then the choice to move on will be simple. It just comes off as very arrogant, and I can pick up on that. That is a fucking lie. Because of who she spent the majority of her time with once she left the pods. And this is not me being jaded, because the name reminds me of a friend who has an ex with this name.
Yeah. I mean, the guy she ends up with, Dave, David, whatever he's going by these days, he is a piece of work. He comes into this like so focused on appearance, right?
Yes.
The physical appearance is his thing. And he said, what did he work for? It was something to do with like plastic surgery stuff or something.
Yeah, he did something with plastic surgery.
You know, let's just go over to him and see. Also, who the fuck are these men on this list? They weren't here. Oh, so he's medical device sales, right? And he works in the medical aesthetics industry. So like a lot of like
plastic
Botox.
Surgeon.
Yeah. But he sells them. Sells the devices and stuff, right? He doesn't do the surgeries, right? He didn't go to med school. He's not that smart.
He's not smart at all, if you ask me.
I was being nice. I'll stop. Like he was talking about how he's been so fixated on like perfectionism for it, like a woman's physical appearance. right? And that he wanted to try to see if he could develop an emotional connection. So it all like sounds like, okay, up and up, he's trying to be less shallow. But then he asks people about their physical appearance in the pods.
Yeah.
In those first few episodes. And it's like, dude, you said you weren't coming for that. And then there's the whole sister thing. Don't get me started on the sister thing. He's like, I don't know if my sister's going to accept this. I'm like, I didn't know your sister was your keeper. Your sister makes your decisions for you?
Controlled your life like that.
Yeah. Like your sister has to decide on who you're dating? And if your sister doesn't approve, then you don't get to date them? Like you don't know if you're in love with this woman until your sister tells you are?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Makes no goddamn sense.
It made no sense. And like, I don't know why she stuck around for as long as she did with him. Actually, I do know why, because I've been there.
Yeah.
I know why you stick around for as long as you do, because you have hope. You have hope that he's not an asshole and that he's going to be a better person. But they always disappoint you over and over. And the thing that really got to me, because I was watching this with my friends, is when she was getting upset about the fact that he was like basically accusing her of being a hoe, which like, excuse me, sir. He wouldn't fucking go over to her and give her a hug or anything. He just kind of stood across from her at the island and was like, yeah, I know it sucks for you to feel this way. And I'm like, I literally said when I was watching it with my friends, I was like, go to her, give her a hug. She is upset. She needs you to comfort her. She needs her fiance to come over and give her a hug to let her know that he's not just some fucking emotionless robot.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure he is an emotionless robot.
Unless it's with his sister, and then they're probably Cersei and Jamie.
Oh, no.
People were sending him, like, Game of Thrones memes in his DMs.
That's awesome. Did his sister ever appear on the show? Because I didn't see all the last episodes, right?
No, she never did.
Yeah. So we don't even know if she exists.
We don't know if, that's the thing. People are like, do your sister and friends even exist, bro?
Yeah, are they in the room with us right now?
But also, how much sway do your friends, I know on the reunion, they kind of talked that the person that Lauren had been hooking up with was trying to like make it bigger than it seems. But still, how much sway do your friends have over you that the minute they tell you that, you're going to take it as fact and not even bother listening to your fiance's explanation? That was the other thing that pissed me off, is he refused to even hear her out about the situation. He's like, I haven't been in a relationship in 4 years. Have you been fucking people in 4 years? Probably.
No, he became a monk.
He should have.
But then on the reunion show, he goes back and says, yeah, my friends all think the same as me now, which is that it was blown totally out of proportion and that this guy was just trying to like blow it up, right? And that, yeah, we understand. We know what Lauren was talking about now. Like basically like he sided with her and he's like, my friends say that too. And it's like, your friends back down that quick because of some online criticism?
Right?
Right? And now because your friends have changed their mind, you've changed your mind? Like it's just nothing. I can't get over the fact that like she addressed it, she explained it, and if he didn't believe her, why is he sticking around to have that conversation hash out over and over and over? Because it happened in like many episodes.
It happened in too many episodes. The amount of times this man brought up the fact that her friend said she was supposedly dating someone, which we know she wasn't. And I'm like, you're like a fucking dog with a bone. Just drop it. Like, I literally, and like, I'm not going to say their names. He reminded me so much of two of my exes put together that I literally was sitting there watching this and I was getting triggered from watching this man.
Yeah. He was just too much. And he never showed much emotion on his face or in his words. He was just robotic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really got me. Like, how do you tell if this man is telling the truth? If he's just like a robot when he's interacting with his fiance, when he's talking about his fiance, right? He's just Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he has the audacity at the reunion to say that Lauren's the one who got away. Right? And Lauren was basically kind of like, hey, you've had my number for a year. If I was, why didn't you call it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If I was the one that got away, as you so vehemently claimed, then fucking call me. Beat me if you want to reach me.
Kim Possible.
Yeah.
And like, he didn't even say it like that. It was like, Vanessa, the host, goes, is Lauren the one that got away? Like, feeding him the line. And he's like, yeah. And Lauren was just like, chimed in like, well, you had my number. You didn't call it. This is
what we in the business call a leading question, which you are not supposed to ask in any form of interview / interrogation if you're with the police, because people are more inclined to have that information implanted in their head. And then they will answer it. Yes.
You give them the answer in the question with a leading question. Exactly. You tell them what you want them to say. Which is why you got to avoid it in the courtroom. Unless you're cross-examining, and then you're trying to feed them that stuff.
Yes, that's
you're trying to fuck up their life.
Cross-examining anything. We are just. I also, again, I've griped about the Lachey's before. I do not like them as the host because Vanessa's very like, who's gonna have a baby? Did you consummate the marriage? Are you guys trying for a baby? It's like, fuck you, Vanessa.
It's like there's a boundary line that she doesn't seem to know, and she also seems to just make everything come back to herself. Like, oh, what you just said reminds me of a lovely story I'll tell about me and Nick. And Nick barely gets to talk.
Nick doesn't get to talk. She's got his balls in her hands.
Oh my gosh. The two of them.
They are just terrible.
And honestly, I'm liking The Ultimatum a lot more than Love is Blind lately. Just because it's way more ridiculous and outlandish, and I just I want the drama on my screen.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Though I did like that this season of Love is Blind had less Nick and Vanessa on screen. Definitely, they were less involved in many of the episodes. Like some of the episodes they never even showed up on.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful.
It was great for me because I don't fucking like seeing them on screen because I think they're terrible hosts. They don't ask the right questions. We've been over this in our other Love is Blind episode that I've had the same gripes. They don't ask the right questions. I don't remember what season we covered on that one. It might have been 4, maybe 4 or 3. But like they don't ever ask the right questions. It's ridiculous. Let me get Madison.
Yes.
28. Artist, a Leo.
Madison, who I was liking, and then I wasn't liking, and then I liked a little bit, and then I don't. I wavered on her so much throughout the season.
See, I didn't really watch much of her. Like I said, I watched a recap for the first 6 episodes, so I didn't really get like a good enough read on Madison.
Well, let me tell you. So she had a relationship only in the pods, right? And it was with Mason and Alex. And every time she was in the pods with Mason, like almost every time, it is getting super sexual. What they're talking about, right? They're hardcore flirting. at one point, like, she talked about how her favorite dessert was a cream pie.
It's like,
And
same. I mean, what?
and then, like, he made her a breakfast with a cream pie, right? So that, like, it kept getting just very, very sexual, right? It and it didn't seem to have any real substance to it. And then you went over to her conversations with Alex, and it was all like, you know, that like early dating stage conversations of like figuring out who the person is and what kind of attachment style they have,
Yeah.
how they respond to things, like what's their background and their family and stuff. But there was like nothing sexual at all. So it was like a friendship to me, and like a friend mance and a flirt mance between them, and there was no like actual in-depth relationship
That's
happening.
one thing that I remember they were talking about. I think on the reunion they mentioned, because she was saying things to, I think it was Alex, that she was like, "Oh, I don't want to have sex before marriage," and that kind of stuff. And then with Mason, she was, like you said, she was being like very sexual, very like blah, blah, blah to him, you know?
That I don't remember. I don't remember her ever telling Alex that she didn't want to have sex before marriage.
It might have been Mason. It might, one of them where she wasn't being very, she was like, "Oh, I'm not super sexual," or whatever the fuck she said.
Yeah, I don't remember her saying that, but her and Mason's conversations got super sexual all the time. And it was like, I think I actually texted you while I was watching these, and I was like, God damn, Love is Blind has got horny in the pods.
Yeah, I think you did text me.
Yeah. Because it was like getting really bad. Like because all I can think is like, if I was in this situation and like some of these people are talking about how their families are gonna watch this, and I'm like, I would not want my family to hear me talking like that.
Yeah.
Right? I come from a very uptight Catholic bunch of people, right? I am not like that, but I would not want to be on television saying things like that my family would hear.
Yeah. I mean, I say shit on this podcast, and I know my parents don't listen to it anymore.
Yeah, my parents don't know how to listen to a podcast. That's great.
But it's like, I don't know if people think, and I don't think people really think how they're going to be portrayed on shows like this, you know? Yes, editing can sometimes like make things look a certain way, but like at the end of the day, if you're a shitty person, doesn't matter how they edit things, you're still a shitty person.
Well, they can edit you not shitty.
I mean, they can, but where's the fun in that?
But they'll play it up, right? But still,
Yeah.
like those things came out of their mouth, and it wasn't edited to like like AI generated, so that these people weren't saying them. Like they were saying these things, and the fact that like Madison and Mason had these conversations like on multiple days, so they're wearing multiple different outfits in the different times they're talking about this. It's not like they just had one conversation about sex. And yes, sex is really important in a relationship, but you're also on TV in this stage, right?
Yeah.
So like, are you guys really that comfortable with all this being out there as like if this is your love story of how you met the father or the mother of your kids, they going back and be like, "Mommy, what's a cream pie?"
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Like, how do you
You're
explain
4.
that?
I hope you don't learn yet.
Yeah.
And the Alex thing, I really didn't like how he responded when Madison said she had like avoidant attachment style. He like really shut down and was kind of like, I don't know if I can handle you like that. Which was icky.
Yeah, that was
And
icky.
then okay, I don't know if you know that there's a bunch of stuff coming out about Alex.
Yeah. Okay. I've heard there's stuff coming out, but I don't know exactly what is coming out.
So there's a bunch of allegations. Let me Google. So I can't find anything here about the allegations. Just like, there's allegations, but they're all videos, and I don't want to watch a video while we're on here.
Are they? What are the nature of the allegations?
That people he went to school with when he was like 17, these girls that are like 14, 15, whatever, or like maybe he's like 19 or something. He was like getting them liquor and giving them alcohol in exchange for sexual favors with underage girls.
Okay, yeah, I found an article that's talking about it with no videos. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so that Alex had allegedly been buying alcohol for minors, asking inappropriate questions and inviting them to parties. Isn't he also the one that said he was bullied in high school and then he might have been a bully, or was that Ben?
No, he said he was bullied in high school. That was part of his big story in the pods, and that's what Madison and him actually bonded over, because he was bullied and she was like really ostracized and bullied by girls in high school, and like grew up being ostracized from her family, and like had like this the background of like her mom being a drug addict and stuff, right? Yes. So they kind of bonded over this like not great childhood experience.
Yeah.
Right? But Alex was very clearly saying that he was being bullied. And then some of the allegations that have come out are that he was the one doing the bullying, and that he was actually not a loser in high school, not ostracized, not bullied, that he was actually a cool kid, right? Like he was popular. But I don't know if there's like, I have not seen the receipts. I've just seen the allegations.
Yeah. So the article I found, it's talking about, there's a thread on Reddit with a screenshot. Will not be making a video, but Alex used to throw parties in his 20s and would invite only high schoolers. Was 16, 17 underage drinking while he was banging my friend. Another one added, can verify the story. He was best friends with my best friend for a decade, and he prefers his girlfriends to dress and act young.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, icky, icky, icky? Yeah. The whole, like, first of all, like, giving people, like, 5 to 10 years your junior who are underage alcohol, that's not good. The whole accusations of, like, he's selling it to them and then asking for sexual favors. Not good. And there was like a whole thing also, I saw like there's text messages about people calling him a sociopath, and he was like, so what if I am? Kind of thing. What's it so bad being a sociopath? So like there's just a whole lot of accusations.
Yeah.
And icky.
It's very icky. It's very, very, very icky. And whoever does the casting of this show, would you just fucking background check the people? Like, god damn.
Yeah. I also just saw in this article, there's a really, really terrible icky thing of it.
Oh no.
Apparently he made a claim about how rape was irrelevant in a utilitarian society for a college essay. That is according to his ex-girlfriend. Yeah.
What the fuck?
She's made a bunch of claims, apparently.
That
about like him cheating on her constantly through the whole relationship. That about he was manipulative and like made her dress a certain way to look younger. He would watch porn with the search term of young.
Oh.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And apparently there was previous allegation of a former Love is Blind contestant, Tran Dang.
Yeah, I saw that.
Alleged that fellow participant Thomas Smith sexually assaulted her during the honeymoon. What the fuck is up with the show?
This is what I'm telling you. Whoever is doing the casting, Or actually, no. Listen, fucking creepy ass camera people who like recording people's feet.
I didn't know you were going there.
You guys are there around them filming. You are probably privy to this stuff even when you're not filming. Fucking say something if you see shit like this. Like, don't just let it slide. You're a bystander. And the fact that this has gone on, and I've seen there was another accused in another season, and I know there's stuff that's been come out about Brennan as well from season 2 or 3, whatever the fuck season he is. Brennan and Alexa. I know there was stuff come out about him, but like,
yeah,
come on. You're with these people 24/7. Fucking do something if you see sketchy shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm just seeing like the casting. I think the whole show is a problem. Like,
Yeah.
like safety issues and stuff. Like, apparently, season 6 participant Trevor Sova's ex accused him of threatening to show revenge porn to her son. And there were sexual assault allegations against season 7 contestant Bowden Olinaris. I don't know how to properly pronounce his name. So, like, yeah, it looks like they're not doing background checks or not well enough to find out things, right? You think they could at least like interview some people in their lives to like make sure things are on the up and up?
They should
right?
also like fucking make statements on this stuff, you know? Like, they're not Netflix or the fucking devils that are the Lachey's have not said anything about these allegations. They're kind of, I think they're kind of just hoping that it's gonna like brush under the rug or something, you know?
Yeah. Like, hopefully like people would forget about it. Because like, who's casting the show? Who's making sure the safety measures are in place, like on the sets, right? During this whole experience, what safety measures are there, right? Because if you're not even going to background check the fuck out of this, people are going to get hurt.
Yeah. This is now
and
turning
not just
into
emotionally.
PSA about this. This is why this show needs to be stopped. It has gotten to the point where, and I know they're doing another season because they're going to, what city are they going to next? I can't remember.
They should be going to Alcatraz.
They should be going to therapy.
Yeah, they should be going to jail.
Like, this is why, because it's gotten to, like, the first season, I can see it being like, oh, let's see if this actually works. The second season, same thing. I think the third season kind of got a little iffy if it was still like gonna be that. Fourth season, I think some people on there were definitely on there for like exposure. I think with season 5 as well, if that's the one that had Trevor, who had a girlfriend when he joined the show. That might have been season 5 or 6. I'm not 100% sure.
Also, how is that not found in like background checking for like getting these contestants in?
Yeah,
what's the procedure? Name, age, your occupation,
ASL,
and your zodiac sign. Okay, go in. That's it. Right? Like, you don't check to see if people have like allegations of stuff, to see if they're like single, right? Fact check. Unless they're wanting this type of stuff to pop up so that they can get more views.
Yeah.
And if so, it's fucking shady.
It is very shady. I don't understand. I know we've gone off on a tangent at this point, but I think at this point, fuck going through the cast members. Let's just fucking talk about this shit. So, I was really happy that Molly was a girl's girl.
Yep.
That made me really happy. Because I know in the past seasons, looking at you, Sarah Ann, a pick me, people haven't always been that way when they've met like someone they had a connection with and then didn't get chosen.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact that Molly was very much like, no, like girls through and through, Lauren's my girl type thing.
And she did try to kind of warn her.
Yeah.
About what, because she was also dating Dave in the pods. So she kind of warned her after he broke up with her, like, these are the things I've found that like don't add up to me, and I'm like hoping it works for you if you want to go with that, but be careful. Like, she tried to warn her of that without being like, well, like, fuck off, right?
Yeah.
Like, leave him alone or anything, like, too pushy. She was just very clear. I liked that.
Yeah.
I liked Molly, actually. She was one of the people I liked.
I'm jealous of her hair. I wish I could have hair like that.
Yeah, me too.
I want that natural ginge color.
Me too. Why do you think I dye my hair red all the time? I'm just hoping it grows like this soon. Just convinced my brain to grow it this way.
Yeah. I also, speaking of sisters, as we brought up Dave's sisters, what the fuck was up with the sisters this season?
I don't know.
Like,
in the reunion, there was like, I can't remember whose sisters it was, but they were there making faces in the row.
Sarah's sister.
Oh no, there was one of the guy's sisters.
Oh, Joey's sisters. Joey's sister.
And every time someone said something bad about Joey, they looked so happy about it. I was like, do you even like your brother? Because you're like nodding and like looking like you're on board every time someone says something bad about him.
There was a lot of nurses this season.
Oh. Yeah. There was. Meg was an oncology nurse.
Yep. Meg was an oncology nurse. There was another girl who was an oncology nurse. Sarah was a colonoscopy. No, Taylor was a colonoscopy nurse. Sarah's an oncology nurse.
Yeah. Now, we'll have to bleep out the name, but physically, Sarah reminds me of someone we went to high school with. And so we'll bleep out the name.
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
Right? It's like the body type and the hair and the smile, everything reminds me of her. So initially I liked her because I worked with her.
Yeah.
And she was always great to work with, like sometimes questionable decisions. She'd probably say the same actually about herself. But you know, like I liked any time I had to spend with her, right? So I initially was like kind of liking Sarah because I was like, oh yeah, she reminds me of somebody that I enjoyed spending time with in the past. So I did like her, and I also really liked the fact that she was so pro LGBTQ plus, right?
Yeah.
And like taking stances on political issues, and that she wasn't willing to waver on that.
Yeah.
And Ben was a piece of shit, turns out.
Yeah. I think, though, my issue with Sarah is her sister.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that, like, I understand. Okay, I have values that are important to me, and I've discussed this with my current partner, because there are things that I will not waver on, and it's not like social. I mean, I have social and political and stuff, but there's a few things just in general that I'm like, this is a non-negotiable for me, and if you are not okay with this, then we can't be together, type thing. I understand having that. However, I feel like she's so, I'm trying to think about how to word this without coming across as like mean.
Well, we can edit, so.
I know, but I think she's so, her values are so ingrained in her and part of her identity that she's not willing to understand that some people don't have that same type of drive about their values. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I get that.
Because, like, part of her issue with Ben is the fact that he didn't have a firm stance on like Black Lives Matter, and I don't think he really had a firm stance on like LGBTQ plus stuff.
No, he didn't.
But
he was like indecisive constantly.
He was kind of like, I hadn't really thought about it, which I think, personally, my opinion, I think if it's something you haven't thought of, that's okay. Maybe you're just trying to make a decision, trying to gather some information, kind of like figure out where you stand amongst it. I think that's okay.
Yeah. And as a cis straight white man, he hasn't had to think about a lot of these issues before.
Yeah.
Like they haven't personally affected him. So he hasn't been confronted with it. And like something he said in the reunion, because Sarah was really like upset about the fact that the church he goes to, that he wanted her to go to, he wasn't even like, he never even clued in that they have really strong stances against LGBTQ plus, right?
Yeah.
And she was really taken back by that. And Ben didn't remember that was what they did.
Yeah.
Right? So he just seems like unaware about everything.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got a lot of hate toward anybody.
No.
But like, I don't think he clues in that, hey, bad things happen to good people sometimes.
Yeah.
He's just skipping along in life, whistling a tune.
I think I agree with you that he hasn't really had to think about this stuff because he's probably never been with someone who's made him think about this stuff. But Sarah's kind of inflexibility to be understanding that he hasn't been put in a position to think about it, because like you said, he has the cis white male privilege where he hasn't had to think about these things. She really just could not wrap her head around that, and for some reason that was like a huge issue for her.
I think it would be a huge issue, like a valid take on a huge issue, if like he was very firmly against what she believed in, or he wasn't willing to like learn and like be flexible on things. Like, for example, my current partner tried to argue with me. Failed. About the gender wage gap, right? He didn't think that was real. He thought that was a myth. And he was sorely mistaken, right? When science and facts came into it, but he was willing to be flexible on it, learn, and acknowledge, oh, I didn't know everything, right? And that's like that understanding, like being able to teach someone, hey, let's work on this, let's figure out some things. And you don't have to come around to the other person's viewpoint, but being willing to like hear them out and understand. And somebody who's indecisive on things, like those kind of stances, but not against learning, that's a pretty decent person, right? That's a work that you could work with, that kind of person. Yeah.
And I think the other issue I had with this season is the people were being way too influenced by their family.
Yeah. Why did it all seem like they were all in the mafia by how much influence their family had over them?
It really did. Like, let's talk about another sister, Monica's sister. Oh man, I think it was so blatantly obvious to me that she was jealous that Monica was going to be getting married before her. And also the fact that her fiance wanted Monica before her.
Oh, okay. The sister's fiance.
Yeah, so like the sister, so like the sister's fiance, I think tried to get with Monica first, and Monica turned him down. So technically, the sister got was the second choice.
Yeah, and that's got to create a friggin' complex, right? I don't know if I could, like, I don't have siblings, but if like one of my close friends was someone's first choice, like they approached them first and she turned them down, and then he was like coming to me. I don't think I could get past that. I don't think I could do a relationship like that.
Yeah.
Because that would always be in my head of like, am I second choice? Like if she changed her mind about you, are you going that way?
Well,
That's
yeah,
not a healthy thought.
Yeah, that would be the thing. I think her sister probably had a fear that if Monica wanted to get with her fiance, which I don't think she would, but I feel like she feels that he would just end things with her just to go be with his first choice, like you said. But to then kind of project it onto your sister's relationship and be like, I don't like him. And I think it was solely just I think it was like a combination of jealousy and insecurity and just feeling like, I think she's the older sister too. I guess also the mindset of like, well, I'm the older, so I need to get married first, which like, I don't fucking care. I know my sister's going to get married before me. I'm totally okay with that. So like, you know.
It's not about pecking order.
No, it's not.
It's not a race. Better to like take your time and find somebody that you can actually see a future with, like, than settle for some person that's like not the right fit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. And then her face during the whole, like when they were getting ready and everything for the wedding and stuff, like she had the stankiest face ever.
She had all the facial expressions of the reunion too. Like they put her up front, put a camera on her like the full time, I swear, to be like, get all of her reactions. These are a gold mine. There was also somebody like, there was a guy a little bit behind her, like a few rows back.
I heard people talk about that guy who had the good facial expressions.
I have seen so many like clips and photos and like memes popping up out of that with that guy's facial expressions. Like, he needs a career in this.
Yes, he needs a career in just reacting to reunions.
Reacting to anything, right? This guy's he's got a versatile like bag of tricks here with this facial expression thing. Got him for all occasions.
Yeah.
He'll have him for funerals, he'll have him for weddings, reunions, family and TV.
Yep.
Like, he's ready.
High school reunions, college reunions.
Yeah, he's not going to just narrow himself down to just like reality dating show reunions. Yeah. He's going broad.
Petition to have this man be at every single Love is Blind reunion going forward.
I'd like to have a little like, you know, it's like picture in picture things, like a little picture box down the bottom of your screen with this guy reacting to every minute of Love is Blind. Live reacting. I think it's a brilliant idea.
I think it's a beautiful. I want him. So now I want him to go watch all the other reunions and film his reaction to them. That's what I want now.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, did you watch the wedding episode?
No.
Okay. So, out of the 4 couples, the only one who got married was Taylor and Daniel. And as far as I am aware, they are still together because they were together.
Yeah. As of the reunion, they were still together. Yeah. So what do you think about the whole drama? Because the first, the thing that happened that was the most dramatic was Taylor thought he followed her on Instagram before they came to the show. Like, he would know what she looked like before actually proposing to her in the pods. What do you think of that?
I think that it's a possibility that he might have followed her at one point, not with a malicious intent. I think it's very possible if, because sometimes when you're on Instagram, it will show like, oh, people you might know and you have mutual like followers and stuff with them. So I think it could be that he might have followed her at one point because they had mutuals, and then maybe, because I don't know if they're going to find out who's going on Love is Blind or not. I haven't figured that out. And then maybe if his friends or something or someone or his dog or his parrot or something maybe found out that she might have been going on, maybe he unfollowed to kind of,
Yeah. I mean,
what do you think?
Maybe. Well, she looked like in the episode, they gave her her phone back when she accused him of this and let her scroll through. Like, she has that, whatever the app is, that you can check your followers, who's following, who's unfollowing and stuff. So like, she was going through and she didn't find him in those people, right? And he said like he very well could have. He didn't remember doing that. Now, but she remembered one of his pictures. Like, there's actually a couple pictures it could have been, but that were very similar to how she described. So then she came up with the explanation that maybe he didn't do that at all. Maybe he came up as like one of those recommended people you may know. And she'd went in and like looked through his profile to figure out if she knew the guy. And then like, obviously she loves Christmas. It's like a big thing they bond over. So she's going to remember the Christmas photos, right? Because those are going to stick out to her. And maybe she just saw him there and then like put it together afterward. I think that's a very plausible explanation of what happened. I also think maybe he did know what she looked like, but I feel like he probably wouldn't know before going into the pods. Like, I don't think he like stalked her there. He might have figured it out when he's having a conversation with her and like suspected like, oh, this is Taylor. She's got all these like the Taco Bell things in her profile, the loves Christmas, stuff like this, and be like, oh wait, this seems familiar. Like, maybe he did clue into it in the pods, but I think those are probably the two most plausible explanations to me. He doesn't give me stalker vibes.
He really doesn't give me stalker vibes. He is very sweet and very genuine in how he felt for her. And he doesn't give me stalker vibes. Like you said, I'm kind of the mindset that it might have been like, like you said, maybe she went and looked at his profile. Maybe he went in and looked at hers if they showed up having mutuals. But yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't like strike me as the Joe Goldberg type. You know? He's not gonna like stuff her in like a room.
He's not gonna be like, hello, you.
He's not gonna be like breaking into her apartment to steal shit and like staring at her through the window, He doesn't give me that vibe.
Yeah, he doesn't give me that vibe.
So I don't think there was anything untoward there.
Yeah.
What else was on this season?
So I found an article that's kind of talking about Daniel and Taylor are still married based on this article.
Yeah. They were very cute. They were the only couple that I was like, aw, about this season.
So
everyone else, I was like, okay, this is like, some was just cringy, some was uncomfortable to watch, and some I just wasn't rooting for anybody really. Like Taylor and Daniel was the closest I got, and I wasn't rooting for them too much either, right? Like, I feel like we didn't see them enough to really get invested.
I got to the point after Virginia said no to Devin, which, first of all, that man on the altar, that fucking broke my heart seeing him like that.
Did he break down?
He had a full blown like breakdown on the altar when she said no.
Mm-hmm.
And it broke my heart seeing that because he was so into it. And like, I just, it hurt seeing that because like if she was hesitant because like there was at one point when we were watching it where she kind of looked off before they kissed to cut, and it was kind of like, oh, I guess I gotta do this. I don't think she was ever into him, really. I mean,
like she talked about being really closed off in the pods.
Yeah.
Like she has trouble letting her guard down and trusting people.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that. I'm not sure, like you said, like was she ever really invested? Like I don't know if she ever really let her guard down to fall in love with him.
I don't think she did. I think she was still, and again, kind of this coming up with the political views again. She also gave me the vibe of she's someone who, you know, doesn't seem to be open to people having different views. Because, like, they talked about political views and, like, they talked about the abortion thing and everything. And he kind of was like, he gave me the same kind of vibe as Ben, where he hadn't really had to think about that stuff because, like, I mean, he's a black man, so he would have to think about other issues related to that. But like abortion is not really something that's like a man's issue. That's my opinion of it. Take it or leave it.
If they don't have a uterus, they don't have an opinion, in my opinion.
Exactly. Like you can talk about it with your partner and kind of discuss that, but at the end of the day, it's the woman's body. They make the choice and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. She just seemed like, I don't know if she was ever into him. I don't know if maybe she just wanted to stay because she felt obligated to. Because she made a comment after she said no that she was trying to protect him.
Okay.
And I don't know if that was because I think my friends mentioned that he might have had a substance use issue in his past. And she was worried that if she kind of pulled back or said no or whatever, that it was going to like push him off the deep end.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case, but like that's a terrible situation to be in, to feel like you're responsible for somebody else like that.
And like she's not, if that is the case and she felt like she didn't want to send him over the edge, like depending on if this is true about his substance issues or not, his sobriety is not her responsibility. It's his responsibility. If he doesn't have the correct supports in place and like a support system and people he can turn to and everything to kind of help him when he's feeling the urge to give into that, that's on him. That's not on you, baby girl.
Yeah. And I guess maybe like if that's the case, like this is also like a pressure cooker situation of being on a TV show. There's cameras everywhere. Like this is not just like breaking up with somebody in private. This is breaking up with somebody very publicly. Everybody's watching. There's cameras. It's going to be televised. And so like they could be humiliated like internationally.
Yeah.
The stakes are there, but like if that's the case, she should have done it as like in private as she could, given the show situation and before the wedding. Now, the thing with Devin is he didn't sit right with me from the moment that Brittany brought up, because I think her name was Brittany.
Yeah.
Was the other one he was dating, who was like a basketball coach, right? And they kind of vibed with that. But they had more of a bit of a friend thing. But Brittany talked about how she's bisexual, I believe she identified as.
Yeah.
And so she's been with women, and she talked about that. And he was like very standoffish. Right? And it didn't seem like, is he going to be able to get over the fact that he's not comfy with that? Right? So it didn't just seem like he was unsure. It seemed more like he was icked out by it. Like he had a real reaction to it. And then when Virginia says in the reunion that like he doesn't support the LGBTQ community, he's doesn't support abortion and women's right to choose. And then she also brought up the fact that he lied about a check they got for the wedding from his mother to her. Like, the dishonesty and then the political views, like, I wonder if they all kind of snowballed, because to me, like, there's some political issues you can be on different sides of with your partner and you can get over it. But to me, something like abortion, especially if you're in a relationship where there are going to be kids involved, like the possibility of pregnancy is involved there, that's something that I don't think you can really get over. Unless you can, like, agree to disagree and be like, your body is your body. Because I don't want kids. And if I got pregnant, I would have an abortion. 100%. And I don't want anyone telling me any different.
Yeah.
Right? So if there's an issue of, like, a controlling partner and they have a hard stance on abortion, that might cause an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that is it's just, I did also do a quick Google. Apparently, unsure if Devin was addicted to some form of substance, or I've been seeing people saying he was addicted to ibuprofen.
It's an interesting thing.
Yeah. But I'm with you. Like, there's certain things that are important when it comes to relationships, and having conversations are kind of about how you did. Because I've made it blatantly clear with my partner that I do want kids. I don't want them right now. So obviously going to take precautions and all this kind of stuff. And I've told him, like, if for some reason I did end up pregnant, like, I would, the way I said it to him is fetus deletus, like,
yeah,
like I would, and if he wasn't on board with that, then obviously we wouldn't be together.
It's like, yes, there's precautions being taken, but precautions are not 100% successful.
Exactly.
Right? Accidents can happen even if you prepare, right? And you shouldn't be forced into anything by anybody. It should be your decision.
Exactly.
So we got off track of this.
We did get off track, but that's okay.
Overall, Devin gave me bad vibes. Like, there was something about Devin that didn't sit right with me. And I wasn't like, I wasn't invested in him from the beginning. Like, something wasn't sitting right. And then when the Britney thing with him kind of having a weird reaction to her, telling him that was kind of like, okay, I can see where it is. It's just Devin and I would not jive.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we would have very different views on things.
Yeah, it's all like, yeah. And I think that was kind of, Devin didn't sit right. Virginia, for some reason, she started doing the fucking baby talk, which annoyed me. You're a grown-ass woman. Don't baby talk your man. Like, it did hurt me to see him that heartbroken, because it was obvious that he did care about her and he did love her and he wanted to be with her. That hurt me. But listen, like I said, by the time that there was a third no, I was like, fuck it. And I was like, God damn it, nobody's getting married this season. And this is the season that they realize that this does not work, that love is not blind.
Love may be dumb, though.
Love is very dumb.
Oh, one thing, I just saw this in an article here, and it totally reminded me. I meant to bring this up. We were talking about Ben and Sarah. So Ben, the only time I've ever really heard this on a reunion, he basically ghosted her for the longest time, and then he only became civil because he spoke to a former Love is Blind cast member, Jimmy from season 6, who advised him he needed to be a decent human being to her and prepare, like, to answer questions together, like, work on it, to prep beforehand for the reunion. And she said, no, I'm not going to do that with you. And so she told about that on the reunion. He said, yes, he's had spoken with him, but he denied the whole, like, wanting to prepare answers together thing. That I have not seen before on a reunion.
I haven't seen that either. It makes me wonder, though, if maybe that was something that maybe happened in past reunions, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was interesting. And like Ben, there's, like I said, there's stuff that came out about Ben as well.
Yeah. He also apparently, they were supposed to like meet up in Nashville for her work temporarily. Like he was going to work remotely and travel with her because she's like a travel type of nurse, right?
Yeah.
And so like she goes to Nashville and then like he ghosts her and she finds out she's removed from the Find My Friends thing on his phone. And he like doesn't contact her at all. Like out of nowhere, like the plans they were supposed to have, he's just not there.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, what? I don't like ghosting.
Yeah.
I'm
not a fan of ghosting. I think you should kind of we have said this before, and I will say this again as somebody who's about to be a therapist in like 2 months, basically, once I get my license. I'm going to be done my schooling. But anyways, we've said this before, and I will continue to say it. And I say this to my clients, and I say this to my partner, and I say this to everybody who will fucking listen to me at this point. Communication is key. If you are having a problem with your partner, with a friend, with parents, with anybody in your life, hell, if you're having a partner with your dog.
Having a partner with your dog?
Having a problem with your dog.
Yeah. Ignoring it doesn't help.
Yes.
Ignoring
it doesn't help. You need to communicate if there was something that is bothering you. I said this to my current partner. I was like, listen, I want you to tell me when there's things bothering you. I don't care if it's something stupid that I did, or I said something the wrong way, or looked at you the wrong way, or whatever. Like, tell me it bothered you. Because you want to have the open line of communication and feel like you can talk about this stuff. And if you can talk about the little stuff, you're more inclined to be able to talk about the bigger stuff.
Yeah. You've got to communicate. Without communication, things just like fester and build, and then you have blow-ups and fights over things that are stupid.
Yes.
Right? Like not actual things to be arguing about. It's just like, it becomes this, it's like a pressure cooker, right? And the pressure is building and building and building. And like, if eventually you don't let the pressure out of that, it'll just explode and ruin your whole kitchen.
Yeah. Or like, if you want to, I use the balloon analogy today. If you're a balloon and you just keep holding in air and holding in air and holding in air, it's going to pop.
Yeah.
It's just going to like fucking pop.
And you can't unpop the balloon. I like watching a lot of these types of shows because you can kind of be that like fly on the wall thing, and you can go, ooh, that was a mistake. No, they should have talked about this. They should have done this, that. And like, I feel like that can teach you a lot about how to act in your own relationship first, like the what not to do. Mostly.
Yes. Love is Blind, a what not to do in your future relationship. That's what they should rebrand the show to. This is what not to do. Remember what not to wear? What not to do.
What not to do in love. Presented by Melanie and Rachel.
Exactly.
Show, opportunity, Netflix, are you calling?
Hey, Netflix, hit us up. If you want us to host this show, because like you got somebody who's a divorce lawyer and somebody who's going to be a therapist, and we can just like,
yeah. We have great takes.
We do. We have fantastic takes. This is why we have a podcast. Not like we had to apply to get a podcast. We just fucking decided to make.
We had to apply to the podcast gods, the overlords, if you will.
Yeah.
And they have presented us with one podcast. Maybe if we sacrifice another virgin, they'll give us 2 podcasts.
I don't know.
Shouldn't have said that on the podcast. Overlords will be angry.
Overlords be angry. Too-hoo. I don't know what that was.
Too-hoo.
Ooh-hoo. I meant to say ooh-woo, and it came out too.
Too-hoo.
I don't know. Do you have any? I don't.
What? Are you broken?
Do you have anything else to say? It was what I was trying to say, and my brain shut off halfway through. I'm so tired.
I'm very tired too. I almost took a nap this afternoon when I got home, but I tried and my brain was like, no, it's not sleepy time. Get back up. You're only tired if you try to do anything else.
Yeah, so it's just... Do you have anything else to add about this show? About this season?
Maybe like stop.
Yeah, dear Netflix and the devils that are the Lachey's, just stop.
Honestly, I love the idea for it of the blind dating in the pods. But yeah, like we said before, it shouldn't end in a marriage, right? Let it end in an engagement, and then let the people that stay engaged let them have a marriage like scene on the next season, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah, like if Love is Blind 9 ended in engagements, but then when Love is Blind 10 is happening, you had like 3 of the couples stayed together and want to get married, then host their weddings on an episode. We'd all fucking watch it, and you might have more of a success rate.
Or just like if it ends in engagement, just have them do a check-in.
Yeah. Have them come back. Have them mentor some of the couples.
Yeah.
Coming back, like the ones that get married and stuff. Like the Bachelor franchise. You don't watch, but it's dramatic as fuck and funny. So they'll have couples that stayed together come in and like chat with couples or like chat with people in different stages, right? So you'll get to see it. They've hosted the Bachelor weddings of like on different shows, right? So there'll be like a couple that was like engaged for like 6-7 years and decided to get married, and then their wedding, there was some of it was filmed and put into one of the episodes of like Bachelor in Paradise or something, right? So that they come back and you get to experience parts of that with them, but they're not like forced to like say yes or no at the altar. That is just still such a fucky thing.
It is such a fucky thing. There's so much pressure as well. So like it's just don't. Just stop. Just have it so they, at the end of the 6 whatever weeks, they get engaged and not married, because having to go through the whole thing with it, and I get it. For some people, they might, I know for Taylor, like she didn't know if her dad was going to be able to be at her wedding because he's sick with cancer, which is very sad. But like, that's too much pressure on people to try to plan a wedding when you barely know someone. Like, and you know what? No, you know what? Scrap the engagement thing. Let's just see if they even want to fucking stay together at the end of the 6 weeks. That's all they need to do.
I think for television purposes, there does have to be some big stakes.
So like, the big stakes can be finding not shitty people. How about that, huh?
Yeah, but that would be sensible, and TV is not sensible.
I know.
It's reality TV, Rachel.
I know.
It can't be good.
I know.
It's got to be trash in the best way possible.
Yeah, it do.
I think what they should do is let's extend it. Let's not have 6 weeks. Let's give them like tasks and like extend it over like a few months. Like let's have them like adopt a puppy.
Oh God.
Too, right? And see how they can co-parent a puppy. Or like give them one of those fake robotic baby things and make them like co-parent
you did
the
in
baby.
Like what was the fucking course that people took where you got to take the baby?
human things. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
All I could think was healthy living, and I'm like, no, that's like the gym course thing, isn't it? Did they do that in that?
Was it gym?
Healthy living.
Healthy living. That's what it was. I didn't take that course because being in French immersion, you didn't get a choice about what courses you took in high school. So
I took phys ed. You know, a gym in like grade 10. So
yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't take healthy living. But or like back in the day when they used to give them a bag of flour or an egg.
Yes.
To pretend was the baby.
Yes.
I want to see that. I want to see 2 grown adults pretending an egg is a baby and co-parenting the egg. And I want it to have like a speaker or something where, or like situations pop up of how you'd handle this, but it's still an egg. Like the baby is crying. How will you soothe it? And then they have to soothe the egg.
Yeah.
And then like the voice on the like speakers would be like, the egg is like, your baby Egbert is not soothed.
Egbert.
He continues to cry. What do you do?
Your baby Egbert, Exidibus. I was trying to say Elizabeth with egg, and my brain just like
Elizabeth.
That's what I wanted, Egg Elizabeth.
Eggward.
Netflix, call us. We can do this. We'll also provide some advice to the people and just tell them to not be fucking idiots.
Yeah. Like, we could come up with such great, ridiculous show ideas. Shows that would probably do a lot better. Like, legally. Like, you would have less allegations and lawsuits. 100% there's lawsuits against them.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there is a lawsuit somewhere that I read about. Someone was suing Love is Blind because they didn't let them, like, I can't remember what exactly it was, but it was something about like food and water and all this kind of nonsense. Allegedly.
I'll
throw that in there.
For legal purposes.
Allegedly. So yeah. But I don't have anything to say. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I will watch season 9 because I'm feeling very blah from Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll watch season 9 either. But I stopped watching for the longest time, and then I watched season 6, 7, and 8 like back to back to back. Because I just got in a mood to watch reality TV. You know, so it might take me another 4 or 5 years before I even turn it back on.
If you want to watch a good reality TV show, any of the 90 Day Fiancé stuff.
I don't know if I can do it.
We can do a whole bunch of that with that. I know Lexi watches it too, so we can drag her ass back here and we can talk about this.
And she can say it's her last podcast again.
She can say it's her last podcast episode. Oh, good. But yeah, those are our thoughts on Love is Blind. Sorry, we kind of got a little deep in this one, which I think is a contrast from our last 2 episodes, which we...
And a contrast from the actual show.
And a contrast from the actual show where we ended up getting a little deep. But if you want to follow us, maybe let us know your thoughts on Love is Blind or on the Lachey's or, you know, anything else we talked about.
The Mafia family were all featured on Love is Blind season 8.
Yeah, the Mafia families on Love is Blind season 8. You can find us on Instagram. We're Inconsistent Podcast 1. Find us on Facebook. We're Inconsistently Consistent. If you want to email us, we're inconsistentpodcast1@gmail.com. Remember to like, rate, review, share with your friends, share with your people who like Love is Blind, share with people who don't know what Love is Blind is, and have them be very confused as to why this show is a concept. If you want to follow me specifically, you can find me on TikTok. It's _RachelVR_. I make silly TikToks about silly things. I made one the other day it was a D&D related one, because we had a one shot where my character finally got married and I didn't cry in the one shot. So I used the audio where it was like, a win is a win. I don't care what y'all say, a win is a win, because I cried earlier in the week thinking about the one shot, but I didn't cry during the one shot. So patting myself on the back.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to find me, you can find all my links on melanieflynnbooks.com. And you can get a copy of The Toy Maker in audio format, in PDF. No, why not PDF? Why would PDF be there? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Why did you say PDF?
I don't know. I was thinking paperback, but also ebook. Both are available, sense. But then I said PDF. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've lost my mind, and I have not had enough sleep to be able to speak normally. So you can find me there. Find all my social links. Yeah, that's all I can handle.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for more episodes, and maybe we'll get on a recording schedule now that my life is starting to hope not going to be crazy in 2 months. Maybe we'll see.
Maybe, but my life might be crazy in 2 months, because there's big change I'm dealing with.
Yeah. Melanie's, our lives might swap. Mine might be normal. Melanie's might be chaotic. Who knows what will happen in 2 months?
Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Well, bye.
Bye.